And chat, how's it going, guys? Welcome back to Disco Elysium. Last time we talked to, oh shoot, what's his name? The union leader. Got our asses beat in that conversation, and got Measurehead to take down the corpse, which we are now about to examine. Now, this is going to be the first of 2 Disco Elysium streams this month. My patron and I have decided to split it up into 2 4-hour streams instead of 1 long 8-hour stream. So that'll be today and next Sunday. Sup, Jojo? Yeah, we were right outside this. Alright, what did he do to the tree? Oh, well that's a mess. What do you have to say for yourself, Kuno?
You missed a good show before. A kid came by and completely fucked the tree to pieces.
He fucked the tree up! Fucked it good! It was porno!
Wow, there are some nasty words in this. I wish I could have been here to see it. Now I have some questions.
Shoot that shit at Kuno, Pigonaut.
I'm just not going to talk to you anymore.
Kuno doesn't fucking care.
Shut up, kid. Oh, the body's not under the branch. Okay, good.
The corpse lies on the ground among the remains of an absolutely demolished pinewood branch. It's gently laid on one side.
Well, it's down.
Mr. Measurehead has done a good job. Nothing is too broken or compromised.
Oh, skill point. Nice.
The victim is ready for a field autopsy.
A field autopsy?
Yes. 1. Investigation of the scene. 2. Initial examination of the victim. 3. Field autopsy. 4. Transportation of the body to the morgue. We are on number 3.
The RCM's 4-phase murder scene processing manual.
The fuck are they on about?
Shut up, Kuno.
Cop's gonna cut his shit up!
Don't we have someone else for this? A doctor?
No, you and I are detectives. The honorary rank of detective signifies our ability to handle the entire incident chain. From autopsy to cleanup to social work. Everything.
Wait, honorary rank of detective?
An honor and a burden attached to your rank once you've proven yourself able. Usually after 5 to 8 years of field work. Mine is Lieutenant Detective.
Yes, I feel like a detective, I guess.
You are. Your station would not have assigned you on this case if you weren't. Now...
The lieutenant adjusts his glasses and takes a deep breath.
Tell me something, dead man.
Shoot, Looney Rooney.
Right, he actually talks to me. Can't get the damn compartment in my ledger open.
The Blue Heart. Oh, that's good shit. You'll love it. Just press down and fuck it open like you always do.
Yeah, not gonna do that.
Fuck it on. Copopo the Clown.
Good lord, calm down.
He means force. It'll work.
Come back later, Copo. And amuse yourself with my frank manners and my memento mori features. If possible, also, see me in your dream.
Nope, not going to do that. First, what exactly is a field autopsy?
Come on, officer. You know what a field autopsy is. You've done 100 of them.
This sounds like this conversation was meant to happen before all of the I've lost my memory stuff really came to a head.
What you do know is, at 18.9 kilometers, the dormant shield volcano, Corpus Mundi, is the world's highest summit, and the failure of the 38 single, Epuis Descent, to crack the top 20 was the death knell of disco. But what a field autopsy is, you have no idea.
Thanks, Encyclopedia. Real helpful. Do you have another pair of gloves?
Unfortunately, no.
Oh, I don't know what to say here. The idea that you have to be on drugs to come up with weird shit is kind of lame, to be honest. It just takes work and imagination. I should probably get gloves. I need a pair then. Can we return to this shortly? We have glove hunting to do.
Let's not go glove hunting, please. Let's use division of labor. I perform the anatomical side, while you take notes.
We just fill this in, right? Show him the red field autopsy form in your ledger.
That's right.
And your ledger at the field autopsy form.
The dead man stares in silence as you crack open the ledger. The bright red paper is covered in boxes and lists, describing the condition of his skin and organs in 3 parts. Above those, an 11-field info form needs filling out first. It begins with
1. Assistant.
That's you.
At the initials HDB.
The corpse is indifferent to your scribblings, just lies there. The next box says
2. Coroner's case number.
KK57-0803.0815.
You rattled that off quick. How much of that is a date? And how much of that is you remembering your coroner serial numbers?
KK equals Kim Kitsuragi. 57 equals Precinct 57, followed by his date, 0803, and time of arrival, 0815, on the scene. He's indexed the case after himself, not you.
Yeah, that's fair. I am the assistant on this one.
That's because he doesn't want to bring up the messy question of your initials.
I will write that down.
Next.
3. Name.
We've heard the nom de guerre. Lely. It's better than nothing. Write it down.
Right. Lily. Nom de guerre.
What's next? Date of birth?
Oh, we don't know that, buddy. 4. Date of birth.
NA.
5. Age.
Roughly 50.
Try 40. The damage is so extensive, it's better to err on the young side.
I don't want to undermine him. I'll write around 50.
The corpse looks ageless, like meat on a hook.
6. Race.
Mondial.
fair to olive-skinned, from the Isola of Mwindi. This is as vague as it gets. You might as well say whitish. The pudgy mess of curdled meat looks neither mondial nor anything other.
7. Sex. Not happening ever again.
Fucky, fucky!
The little monster exclaims energetically.
Male.
Pigs can have sex.
I can write fucky fucky. Right, male.
Nor does he look male, with his pregnant belly and indistinguishable face.
If you followed the Zom scandal a little, Martin released a new entry in his blog concerning Disco Elysium yesterday. I followed it a little bit. Where the guy who created the IP and wrote the story got kicked out of the company by the higher-ups. But I haven't followed why that happened, and I haven't followed what he said on the matter. Date of death.
We're still going with March 4th, 51.
Oh, right. It's using day, month, year. Not month, day, year. A 40351.
What else? 9. Body identified by is non-applicable. 10. Case number is the same as the coroner's case.
KK 57 0503 0815 listens, motionless, with the cargo belt still around his neck. Only one box remains.
11. Evidence of treatment.
None. At least not after the initial examination.
Not so sure. Didn't the footprints look like he was carried over?
They'd have to have incapacitated and carried him over. This man was more than a match for untrained dog walkers.
He places his hand on the dead man's chest as if in preparation.
Your central nervous system recognizes this gesture. It's the stations of the breath. Ecclesiastic, religious in nature, a holdout from pre-Delorian burial rites. It takes him 2 seconds to perform. Then...
By the way, I am interested in hearing what information you have about the Zom story. That wasn't me trying to dismiss. That was me going, I don't know, and implying that I wanted you to tell me more.
Somewhere in Jamrock North, a small wood shed behind Rosenkrantz Row, Lieutenant Nick Feuerbach puts his hand to the chest of a small corpse, no larger than a monkey. It's raining outside, light drizzle. There is darkness in the shed.
Is that something from Harry's youth?
Elsewhere yet, an obese female sits in a wicker chair, her silhouette bull-like against the window. Outside, Grand Coudon. The day is turning dim for Sergeant Mac Dawson. Hand extended, he approaches, to make sure she is dead more than anything else. The building is tall, 7 stories, wind-wrapped in solitude. Most of the apartments are unoccupied. This was a suicide. The other, an accident. The small one. And so, all across Jamrock, Coal City, GRIH, 42 deceased persons found today. 42 stations of breath.
Damn.
We should start the post-mortem.
Turn the page.
The corpse cannot feel Kim's hand on his chest. It no longer meaningfully interacts with its surroundings. A thicket of boxes and lists on red copier paper tries to answer why.
Yeah, the police hive mind. It's a cool way of looking at the world and world building. I wish it triggered more often. But then I didn't put any points into it, so... It's all pretty confused, but it looks like the higher-ups have manipulated everybody into thinking Robert had caused a toxic work environment, which isn't true. In addition, after Martin wrote the first entry concerning the kicking/desertion of basically all the original creative team in Zom, the Twitter Zom account basically released a BS non-statement that can be summarized to, Disco Elysium is the collective work of many people. Yeah, but the guy who came up with the world and led and wrote much of the story is kind of important to that collective work. External examination summary.
Clothes. The deceased wears armored boots and white briefs. The make of the briefs is Babrodin, I think. Let's see.
He turns the body onto its side to check the underwear label. Is that important?
See, it's happening.
Shut up, Kuno.
Babrodin, yes. Inexpensive. Size M. Color white.
The disappointment is palpable. The red-haired thing was expecting something more lurid.
Write it down.
The rest of the clothes have been removed post-mortem by scavengers in order to get to the victim's ceramic armor. Officers are in search of the missing pieces. Removal of the boots is left for processing.
It would be clever of you to omit the boots altogether, sire. If you are to keep them for yourself, as you ought to, you have deserved them more than anyone else.
No, fuck it, I'm doing this right. Write it down.
The boot has a serial number. It's E50.100.100. The lines between the plates are in the shape of the alphanumerical. The number is purposefully concealed by the design.
Write it down.
Tattoos.
He stands up, feet planted on either side of the body. Also, hang on a sec, I forgot to mute PokeClicker.
The upper torso is covered in a single, continuous tattoo, resembling a national pattern. It reaches from the right shoulder to the heart. The ink is blue and white. The assistant has a color photograph of the markings, to be added to the case files as document A1. The photo is taken on the scene, using a Trigat Mini.
So, here's my question. Does the original IP creator not own the IP anymore? Does it belong to the studio? Or does it still belong to him?
The deceased has a belt for airlifting cargo around his neck, tied with a hangman's knot. Color, yellow. Length, 3 meters. There is a buckle on the other end. Well-nourished, athletically built, measuring 1.8 meters. Generally consistent with age, about 50. Preservation is good. Ambient temperature, below freezing. Body hair is light brown. Distribution is consistent with age. The deceased had male pattern baldness. Hair is combed back, short.
Short, light, brown, male pattern baldness. Why would I touch the corpse's hair?
Lividity is consistent with hanging.
Hello,
The head is
Ivysaur. How's
congested.
it going?
Contusions are present on the head, chest, and thighs. Consistent with stones thrown post-mortem. Low velocity.
I'm just gonna say a preemptive shut up, Kuno.
Fucking low velocity. You think Kuno doesn't know what you're talking about? Velocity was fucking max.
Shut up, Kuno.
Talking shit about Kuno's velocity.
You're damn right we were, kid.
In addition, there are bite marks on the face, scalp, and chest. Consistent with predation.
Write down that I meant for high velocity. Write down.
Ligature mark.
The lieutenant produces a small folding knife. With the other hand pulling on the belt, he starts cutting into the polyester. The stench is horrid. After a while, it's obvious the material cannot be cut. We've already established that. I don't know why he tried.
The steel wiring. There's too much of it. We need to remove the belt so we can get to the ligature mark.
You got just the right tool for that. The chain cutters.
All right, I do have chain cutters. Good thing we got these chain cutters.
Always good to think ahead. Now...
The IP seems to have been stolen. That sucks. He points to the rope, squeezing the dead man's neck.
We need to cut the belt to see the ligature mark below. Carefully, with as much precision as you can.
This is going to be a skill check, isn't it?
See, my pig is gonna fuck his head off.
I'm not yours. Fuck off.
No, he ain't. Your pig's a boring fuck.
Red check cannot be retried. I'm going to look for a good spot to cut, and then I will try to cut the belt off, because I'm pretty sure this will give me a bonus.
The belt is equally tight around the whole circumference of his neck, swelling over the edges like white bread rising from the yeast.
Nope, that did not get me a bonus. Yeah, I did it.
After some deliberation, you sink the cutters into the knot tying the belt together. You squeeze the rubber handles together, sweat forming on your brow. Snap. The knot is slashed. Another cut and the belt falls apart like a flower bouquet, revealing the dead man's neck and the dark red ligature mark around it.
If you'd talked to Kuno, it would have fucked with your odds.
The rope rises to a point, leaving a gap in the ligature mark. The suspension point is in the back of the neck.
The lieutenant has kneeled closer, running his finger along the dark red groove until there's a gap.
As it ought to. This is where its grip on the curdled meat is gentlest, pulling up.
Hemorrhaging is observed on the skin, above and below the ligature mark. The mark is well pronounced, consistent with a drop from 1 or 1.5 meters. Chest is intact, normal contour. Abdomen is protuberant, pelvis intact, genitalia...
He pulls down the man's underpants, and Kuno's gonna chime in.
No, let's get out and see.
I fucking knew it!
Genitalia is male and unremarkable. No evidence of injury.
Write it down and move on.
Back is symmetrical and intact. Upper and lower extremities are intact, but asymmetrical. There are combat injuries on the right hand, thigh, and hip.
Bullets have bitten little pieces out of him. It must have been excruciating, especially the hip. Before you is a temple of pain that knew little tenderness in life.
In addition, I see smaller, residual scars, too numerous to count, covering about 30% of his skin.
That's a lot of scars. And you're talking about, like, torso and back. So that's not the guy cutting himself or anything.
From wounds sustained over 2, maybe more decades, dispersal and accumulation indicates long and active combat duty.
Last item, hands.
He takes the man's right hand in his, inspects it, then moves on to the other hand.
Hands are clean. No sign of a recent struggle.
No sign of a recent struggle. No sign of a recent struggle. But he would have had a recent struggle if he had been alive when they carried him to the tree. Again, my theory that he was dead before they hung him has another point in its favor. I'll say, were we expecting any?
I was. Maybe I'm just not seeing them. Honestly, this stench is making it hard for me to think at the moment. Ooh. That's all for the external. Well done. What next?
Internal examination. How are we going to do that?
Central nervous system. I have nothing. Do you have anything on this man's central nervous system?
I sure don't.
Of course, there is a moral to be drawn from it. A moral to this story.
I am holding chain cutters. I could use those to crack him open. If I may add the moral of this story, do I want to? Do I want to say that? I don't think I'm in any position to talk about morals. Nope.
Musculoskeletal. Purge fluid is coming from the mouth. Not injury related. Eyes and tongue protuberant. Hyoid bone. Let's see.
What is the hyoid bone?
With his eyes almost closed, the lieutenant puts his hand on the dead man's throat and begins to massage it, gently. A rotting smell erupts from the mouth. Purge fluid runs down his lips, black and viscous.
Oh, that's awful. Ooh.
You hear cracks as the lieutenant moves his sharp fingers inside the flesh, like the creaking of an old house at night.
Why are you doing this? The one above the larynx. Is that the part above your Adam's apple?
Yeah, jack that fucker off!
Shut up, kid.
The hyoid bone is fractured. The rest of the musculoskeletal system is intact. Unremarkable. Respiratory system.
Back hunched, as if in prayer, he begins to pry open the dead man's jaws. He stops to exert more force. Both hands are used.
Oral cavity shows no lesions. The victim has received dental implants, possibly after a combat wound. Mouth swollen. Hemorrhaging present in mucosa of the lips and mouth.
I will probably take health damage if I look inside the dead man's mouth. Ugh.
Hepatobiliary. NA.
Why, don't we have anything?
Are you a hepatobiliary expert?
He looks at the corpse's stomach with a mixture of tiredness and disgust. Nope.
Same for toxicology and serology. NA.
Well, we have no way of telling that, so...
Cardiovascular. The body exhibits heavy lividity. Blood has gathered in the hands, feet, and neck. Hypostasis is visually consistent with the hanging. Gastrointestinal.
He breathes a sigh of approaching relief. This is the last field on the list. He looks around, to the ground, the pool of feces there.
This will do.
Oh, I should have looked inside? Damn.
Digested semi-solid food in stomach. Voila.
Write it down, omit the voila. Write it down, keep the voila.
What's next on the list?
Description of injuries, summary.
Let's see. We have bite marks, contusions on the head and chest, and a ligature mark encircling the neck. You'll need 3 fields. Leave a 4th one too. Head, chest, and scalp bite mark injuries. Predation by birds has caused damage to the body. Odontologist does not need to be consulted.
I am not sure what birds do can be counted as biting. Well, I guess raptors bite.
And your opinion, officer?
Non-fatal post-mortem.
Agreed. Next injury?
Contusions.
So, the scalp bleeds from a post-mortem head injury, a stone. The injury does not have the rim of an early inflammatory response. The perpetrator on the scene has confessed to causing it post-mortem.
Can you guys hear the game, by the way? Because I'm looking at my sound levels, and it doesn't look like the game is very loud. Yeah, it's good? Okay, good. It's a little low. All right, let me turn it up.
velocity, fucko!
Alright, the velocity thing is actually pretty funny.
Has confessed to causing it at maximum velocity.
Oh, now you want me to write that down?
Coagulated blood sticks to his scalp and chest, where the countless stones have hit the dead man. Beneath, the description of injury. 2 boxes.
Kuno's actually got some pretty good aim, I guess. Non-fatal post-mortem.
Right. Next.
Ligature mark.
A dark red abraded ligature mark encircling the neck, with a gap on the nape measuring, let's say, 7 centimeters. The hyoid bone is fractured, the cervical column intact. I see hemorrhaging on the skin, above and below the ligature mark. Depth of the mark, 1 centimeter. No signs of clawing on the neck.
Below the note, 2 customary boxes wait to be ticked. The man's head jerks to the side. The ring around his neck is visible.
Ask yourself, do you think it was killed by being hanged? I don't. I think he was already dead when he was hung. But this seems like an irreversible note to make. I'm going to say it. Non-fatal post-mortem. The lieutenant falls silent abruptly.
Why do you say that?
I'm serious. I don't think this was the injury that killed him.
Okay. Why don't you think it was fatal?
Why weren't his hands tied? A big man like this. I would tie his hands when marching him to the gallows.
Honestly, I'm not sure there weren't marks on his wrist. That part got blurry for me. The stench. But you're right, I was ready to call this. Now I think we should leave it empty, at least for the time being.
Yes! I knew it!
Let's wrap this up. I pronounce this field autopsy over.
Wow, I leveled up again! Follow your gut and then follow his guts. First, how did it go?
It was an irregular field autopsy. We did not establish cause of death, which is supposed to be the goal of an autopsy. But, personally, I do not see this as a parameter for success.
What else?
We were thorough with the list of injuries, too. We described them all in detail. What is there to say? Given the circumstances, it was a professional field autopsy.
Oh yeah, well done, Master Detective. Maybe a drink is in order?
Shut up, electrochemistry. Nobody likes you. What now?
I need a copy of that autopsy form. Then I will drive him to Faubourg.
Oh, is this gonna end the day early? Damn.
For processing.
He looks at the dead man one more time, then at the slip of red paper in his hand, then at the corpse again.
I'm sure we didn't get everything. There's always something.
Oh, I get a +1 for didn't establish probable cause. Let's try the perception.
You run
Damn.
your hands over the victim's cold body, his limbs, his torso with its swollen organs. Maybe you should be more thorough.
I'm not going to look at his pants again.
The corpse seems to yawn contentedly, as though it's glad you've run out of steam.
Do you think we missed something?
You can't shake the feeling that there are more secrets concealed in the flesh before you.
I will say yes, there's something we're not seeing.
Okay, well, we are in livor mortis here. He is disintegrating. We need to refrigerate the body if we want to conduct another examination, and we need to do it fast.
Okay, where do we find a fridge for the body?
It would have to be industrial in size. Let's start by asking Gart at the Whirling in Rags and the Fritz store down at the gates. If they don't know, but only if all else fails.
Oh, are we gonna have to talk to fucking Kuno?
Fuck are you looking at, Beano, man? You want a piece of the Kuno? Wanna get fucked?
No, Kuno. Fuck off.
Only if all else fails.
Kuno looks like he gets around. Knows Martinez. And its fridges too, probably. Or, remember the buttons on that intercom over there? On the side of the building next to the Whirling? One was for Revachol Ice City. Perhaps it's a clue.
Oh, and I get that because I already examined all the buttons over there. Cool. How do you like this game so far? I like it a lot. It's a bit of a rough experience. It's a bit of a rough experience, but in a well done way. It can get a bit egregious at times, but it's very consistent with its tone. There are unpleasant parts, but that's just personal taste. This game is very good. Let's hurry then.
This is one task we cannot sideline. With every hour, whatever we are looking for will become harder to find.
To Revachol Ice City then. I've save scummed a couple times, but only when I was at the end of my rope trying to get somewhere. Nope, wrong way.
An old call box with a matrix of push buttons lists all the companies in the East Delta Commerce Center. East Delta Commerce Center? This must be the name of the doomed commercial area. Silence. No one answers the doorbell.
Revachol Ice City, nobody's there. I wonder if that's a time of day thing. It is 5 p.m. It could be somebody's 9 to 5. I guess we'll talk to Gart then. Maybe I can find a way in, perhaps. Let's ask Gart.
Can I help you?
I seem to be in need of a fridge.
Yes. For the dead body. You want to put a dead corpse into my fridge, right?
How did you know?
Because you haven't taken it away yet, and it must be stinking hard about now. Well, you're not putting it here. Rest assured.
I'm not even going to ask why. You're just going to say something mean. I'll just ask why.
Because this is a culinary establishment, not a morgue. I can't believe you even asked me.
Yeah, it was a pretty unreasonable request.
It would only be for...
Lieutenant, you too? You're asking too? No. The answer is no. I will not turn this place into some kind of macabre circus.
Let's go talk to the Frit clerk.
Well, I don't know what I expected, but it was definitely that.
Is this about the questions again? Because I don't really know anything.
Alright, this poor kid. Do you have a fridge?
Mm-hmm. Right behind you.
You're right, this is a fridge. Wicked.
Yeah.
That's a display fridge. We're not going to be able to put anything in there. Do I say it? Well, enough about the fridge then.
She's playing with her hair, engrossed in a magazine.
Yeah, we're not fitting a corpse in there. Shit. I guess we gotta go talk to Kuno. Maybe I'll put a point into perception and try examining the body again. It was a perception check, right? Yeah. Let's make sure before I waste a point.
The man is decomposing visibly.
Kuno likes
now.
this brain shit,
Every
thinking
hour,
shit.
He looks less like a
I'm sure
creature
you do, Kuno.
and more like
Good
a
luck with
pile
that.
Of intestines. The lieutenant adjusts his glasses and takes a deep breath.
Perception. I have how many points left? I have 3 skill points left. Let's put a point in perception. And try
The
again.
man is decomposing visibly now. The lieutenant adjusts his glasses and takes a deep breath.
42%.
Your
Success!
arms reach out and your eyes close, as if by their own volition. It's dark all around. You feel cold, slippery flesh, first with your fingertips, then under the palm of your hand.
What is this?
His face, his cheeks, his nose, his fat, swollen lips. Like a spider, your hand crawls over his features. Everything is silent.
Are any of these useful? I'll put my fingers in his mouth. We didn't really examine his nose. Interesting, you made a balanced build unlike any of the 3 pre-made builds. I guess that means you do not intend to replay this or watch streams of it after you beat it. I'm doing a blind playthrough and doing things as I understand them and come across them. Most of my skill points have been put in to retry skill checks or to get me thoughts. I haven't really been planning ahead. If I replay this, I'll definitely try something else once I understand the game better, but I'm just taking it as it comes. I'll probably watch other people's playthroughs of the game. Oh, you meant the character build you pick at the start of the game. Yeah, I did set it up so that it was more balanced. The game is very stingy with its stats. Really makes for an interesting experience. Yeah, I definitely plan to watch other people's playthroughs of this game once I finish it. In fact, if you have some in mind, Jojo, if you could DM them to me on Discord and pin them in our Discord messages, I'll save that to watch when I'm done. I'll squeeze his nose. Wooly's playthrough is hilarious. Ooh.
You pick it between your fingers. The mass is even larger than your nose. Very porous somehow. Like it's about to pop. Keep crawling, lest you break it.
Put your fingers in his mouth.
The oral cavity is cold and moist. A ball-like tongue attaches itself to the base of the mouth, lolling around like a scallop. You're on the right track.
Play with it. This feels right.
The tongue moves freely in the cavity. The mucus of the mouth is slippery, delicate to touch. From the soft meat, teeth are budding. Hard pearls of bone in the gums. And in the back of the mouth.
An uvula! No, what is it?
Can you feel it? You're so close. Rip his jaws open now. Look in.
Open your eyes and look.
A vision of black and dark red death, pried open by your naked hands and studded with teeth. Looks like he's laughing. Death fumes rising from the throat, and there, in the back of his mouth, above the bell of the uvula, right in the soft palate. You see a hole, barely visible to the human eye. It is swollen shut, almost vanished. No larger than 0.4 centimeters in radius, the edges appear darkened.
Someone stabbed him.
An abrasion collar. This is what we're after.
Abrasion collar?
Abrasion collar.
The lieutenant looks in. There's a pen in his hand. His notebook is open at the copy paper.
Kuno is silent.
Touch it with your finger gently.
A black trickle of liquid runs into his throat from the wound.
Oh, do I have to stick my finger in it? All right.
Your index fits right in there. A tight tunnel of flesh opens up. Tissue damage. Wide enough for 2 fingers. As you push both in, you reach through his mouth, right into his brainstem.
Oh, God.
The fuck is happening?
Shut up, Kuno-S.
Ah, shit, see?
Oh, this is gross. They are not holding back. I'm going to feel around first.
The basal ganglia feels clumpy. What entered here has torn apart his reptilian complex.
Like the game prompted you to do before. Yeah.
This man will never sleep again. Never wake.
Push deeper.
Your fingers slide into the remains of his limbic system. There is no resistance. It's gelatinous. The slug-like structures are damaged too. The tearing extends deep into both hemispheres.
There's a cavity cut right between the hemispheres.
The lieutenant answers with the sound of his pen on paper.
Fucking cavity, see?
Kuno's voice is hushed. Yeah? Is it serious for you now, Kuno?
Your fingers are all the way in now, reaching toward the inside of his skull. The cavity goes further, but the entry wound isn't wide enough for the rest of your hand to follow.
Oh, this is horrible.
All the muscles in your body harden. Time to enter him.
Oh, God. Did you really have to put it like that? Wriggle in.
Your fingers reach toward his skull. His cerebral cortex feels like jelly. Cold jelly. Strange fluid streams down your wrist as you push deeper.
Is it...
until you feel it on the tip of your finger.
a bullet, maybe?
Sharp, serrated material. The edges cut right into your skin. The pain is barely noticeable under the adrenaline rush.
I feel a solid object right under the skull.
Can you get to it?
I'm going to inspect the skull first. Hopefully that gives me a bonus.
There's a tiny crack, a protrusion in the cranium, right in the back of his head. Your finger must be pointing straight at it, from the inside. The object that is in there stops just short of the skull, in the encephalus, knocking this tiny fracture into the cranium.
We have the makings of a very small exit wound here.
The lieutenant leans closer.
Forget about the fucking exit wound, Beano. The pig is wearing him like a fuck puppet.
Shut up, Kuno-S. Alright. Let's try this red check. Yes!
You pick the object between your index and middle finger. Feels sharp, like metal. You press your teeth together. Your jaw is clenched. All you need to do is just...
Whisper, I got it. You can put points in mid-convo? Oh.
My pig's fucking got it.
What? What is it?
Slowly pull your fingers out.
The inside of the head feels cold and smooth, like a glove. Sweat dripping down your brow. Careful not to lose the prize between your fingers. With a plop, your hand emerges from the mouth, covered in blood up to the wrist. Between your fingers, a small flower, a blossom made of lead.
It is a bullet.
Fucking beautiful.
Shut up, kid.
A bullet.
The lieutenant puts a small bag marked evidence under it. Oh my god, that was the most graphic! Holy shit! That was graphic as fuck! Holy shit! Somehow that's worse than all the descriptions of his rotting body. Oh my god. Drop it in.
The bullet falls in the bag, leaving a smattering of blood on the plastic. He raises the bag under his eyes and says,
A non-caliber rifle. Some kind of brittle alloy. Fractured on impact.
Keep it, Lieutenant, as a gift.
No, you deserve it. We can log it later.
The lieutenant drops the bag in your bloody hand. It feels light. Yeah, because there's one bullet in it. He is doing this without gloves. Yup.
We need to add an item to the injury list. Injury number 4. Oval entry wound with an abrasion color. Soft palate, back of mouth. High velocity. Temporary cavity in brain tissue. Small exit wound on the occiput. How does that sound?
Sounds about right.
Opinion, fatal injury.
Agreed.
And one last thing. We can now fill in injury number 3. Ligament mark. Opinion, non-fatal. Post-mortem. Treatment.
I knew it. I knew it. I guessed like 5 hours ago, or maybe more, that he was dead before they hung him.
he's proposing the bullet was the real cause of death, and the hanging an attempt to conceal this fact.
The ligament mark, the fractured hyoid bone, it was all treatment.
Yes, and the belt around his neck, the hanging, even dragging him to the yard. All of it was done after this man was already dead.
Agreed.
I have had my doubts since you showed me the tracks. Why did they carry him over? Why not march him, I thought. There was no satisfying explanation. There have been other signs too, small things. We were right not to assign hanging as cause of death, as the perpetrators expected we would. No such luck for them.
We didn't fall for it, he thinks. There's pride in there.
Hell yeah. Congrats, Lore. Yeah, I'm proud of that one. I guessed that ages ago. I didn't guess. I figured that out ages ago.
There is, of course, the very real possibility he was both shot and hanged.
Why would anyone do this?
To hide something. The real killer? The real motivation? What really happened here?
Who would do this? I mean, I guess that it wasn't the crew of dock workers at the same time. Somebody else killed him, and they took him and hung him. Was it the female driver who shot him?
That's for us to find out. But this, it will make finding them just a little easier.
I think I need to wash myself.
Oh, you really, really do. I am glad to hear you say that. Your room in the Whirling in Rags should come with a bathroom. Be sure to make use of it in the evening.
Can I make use of it now? Maybe the bullet holds more answers.
Yes, we should take a closer look at it. I am certain it has more to tell us.
Oh god, his mouth on the character model is hanging open! Ooh!
This little thing could reveal much about the weapon that shot it.
What happens next?
We bag the corpse and carry him to the holding pen of my kinema. I can transport him to processing myself, but I will be gone for the rest of the day.
You'll be gone. What should I do in the meanwhile?
Work on the case. Tend to personal matters. Try not to do anything too dangerous. An officer needs backup in a neighborhood like this. I'll leave that choice to you. And one more thing. Great work, detective.
Why, thank you.
After you bag the corpse, Lieutenant Kitsuragi will leave the party until tomorrow morning. You can do side tasks, and even the main case, but it might be more difficult. Plan his exit accordingly.
I want to do the 9 o'clock apartment visit tonight. Do I need to do something without Kim? That's a good question. Let me look at my tasks. I gotta talk to Everard and let him know I unlocked the door, but I don't want to do that alone. Kim has to be absent to get the boots. But I don't have a way to send him away without sending the body with him. Yeah, I'm thinking I'm going to wait until tonight. We're going to visit the apartment at 9 p.m. Then we're going to send the body with Kim. It would be interesting if the other mercenaries killed him. Like, let's run over the possibilities. The Hardy Boys didn't kill him. I'm certain of that. They made a show of hanging him. And they were real pushy about it, but they were putting on a show. They didn't kill him. It would be interesting if the other mercs killed him after he raped that girl. And used him as an excuse to do what they're doing. But that doesn't make sense. If they really wanted to start killing people, they would just do it and make up an excuse. Option 3 is the female driver who was present at the hanging. she may have just been directing it rather than being responsible for the death. Option 4. There was that girl I met at the start of the game when I first came out of my room. Who's staying at the Whirling in Rags. And she seemed like an important detail, but they haven't addressed her at all. Okay, I can't do moral till tomorrow. Please don't direct me to do stuff, Hard Arm. Sup, Raha Perkle? How's it going? Yeah, we're gonna do the smoker on the balcony at 9 p.m. tonight, and then send the body back for processing. But you're right, I could establish authority to the Hardy Boys now. Every quest is equally important, it was just fun to say establish. Fair enough. We should probably tell Evrart that we opened the door, but not that we looked around. Kuno likes me now, because he saw me do some fucked up stuff. What happens if I talk to Evrart with a bloody hand? Can I wash it off in the rain? I have enough money for tonight. At the Whirling in Rags. I turned down the bribe, so I don't have enough money for 2 nights. Is he here? Past 5? He is. Alright, asshole.
Mr. Dubois, a pleasure as always. You don't have to sit down this time, since you've already sat on that chair.
I opened the door, you asked me. Can we discuss the murder now?
I'm very glad to hear that, Harry. One question. You didn't actually happen to stumble in and see what's inside the apartment, did you?
He's trying to figure out if you're lying.
Ooh, do I lie to him? Ooh. 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 Here's a tough choice. Here's something I like about this game, but is incredibly stressful, is all the choices are tough. Everything in this game is a hard decision. And there's a lot of it that's irrevocable. Permanent choices. I'm gonna lie to him.
You're right, Harry. You only had to unlock the door, which you did. So we're all good here.
He was testing you, and you succeeded.
Now let's get down to brass tacks. It's time for men like me and you to figure out who's killed who and why. Real police work is gonna start happening now. I promise you, Harry, this is gonna be good.
Wait, he was testing me. Hang on. Did he want me to lie to him? Because one of my options here is to tell the truth. It's very funny that you could just give away that you totally did go in. Yeah, I'm not going to do that. I've heard about a connection between the lynching and the strike. I'd like to hear what you know about it.
By now, I'm sure you've figured out who the dead man was working for. The bad guys. Wild Pines. Sent to scare us. Another violent measure of the top hats against us flatcaps.
I'm listening.
Harry, this strike is the culmination of many, many mistakes made by the Wild Pines group. They tried to shut the strike down by sending in armed mercenaries.
I found that out already.
You mean our victim?
A security contractor? Can you imagine that? Workers standing in peaceful protest, united in the spirit of fellowship, and they send hired killers to mow us down with machine gun fire? I'm talking beasts, hardened killers from proxy wars in Yisut, Semenine, Saramaritsa, you name it, they've done it. Raping, killing, burning villages, killing little children for the Senorita Pineapple Company, Harry.
Yeah, they're bad dudes. I'm already aware of that.
Everything they did there, they brought over here. They want to turn Revachol into a third world slum. Honestly, the only thing they didn't do is kill the village elephant.
Go on.
Now, I haven't personally witnessed the brutalities out there. I have the luxury of staying in my container, you see. If I need to go somewhere, they just move my container.
Okay, that's a pretty good joke, Everard. I'll admit it. Go on.
About my fun container? It's a hoot, Harry. Who knows? Maybe you'll be in here the next time they move it. It will be very fun, I promise.
And like Everett has to have eyes all over the city, the Hardy Boys being the ones that could have reported you going into the building rather easily, pretty sure they could have seen it happen. And also Everett has eyes in the sky, his own!
But enough about me and my container. The killers the company hired, I think there were 3 of them, all hardened commando types.
We know about 2 of them, and the third one is supposed to be a woman. Is the third one the woman I met at the start of the game?
One of them got downright suicidal, getting drunk, violent, a little rapey. Even their own negotiator couldn't control him. That's your boy, the one who likes hanging out and trees.
By negotiator, you mean Joyce?
Harry, what you need to realize is, we dock workers are not pushovers. We got grit, Harry. This whole neighborhood does. Push us hard enough and we push back. And when we do, we push to kill.
I've noticed. Who exactly did the pushing?
There's a militant wing inside the Union. A group of people whose duties don't involve manual labor, but peacekeeping in the neighborhood. Making sure everything runs smoothly.
The Hardy Boys.
That sounds a bit like organized crime.
They're like you guys. Idealistic people who want to make sure bad things don't happen. And if they already have, well, punishment must follow.
How are we going to bring anybody to justice in this place? Because, like, the Hardy Boys are right. We're two guys in a place that's hostile to the cops, and they've got a whole gang of people who would resist. We can't arrest them all, and we'd probably get killed if we tried.
Again, that sounds like organized crime.
So these idealists killed our victim?
One day Titus Hardy, leader of this peacekeeping faction, comes up to me and says, "Boss, socialist democratic fervor drove us to take it upon ourselves to kill this beast that was burdening the land."
Yeah, sure he did.
He probably worded it differently, but that was the idea. Sure sounded to me like they killed him. I gave them 2 weeks paid leave and told them to lay low to avoid retaliation.
Aren't you worried we might arrest them for this?
Oh, I'm not at all worried about that. These are not the kind of men who get arrested. They're Martinez boys, tough and gritty. I'd like to see the man who takes them in. Besides, I sent my lawyer girl to look after them.
He places a lot of faith in that lawyer girl. Perhaps this is a tactical error. Anyway.
She didn't seem very happy about the job. There was a bullet in the hanged man's head. No, I'm going to ask, how do you know the mercenaries were hired by the shipping company? Before I play my hand.
How do I know? Let me tell you about these people. That's their MO. It's what they do. Last winter, some poor workers in Terminal E went on a little strike. The company sent in Sediment, a security contractor. The strike was over the workers' right to wear protective footwear, Harry. These guys turn up and start beating people. Tell you what, Harry, I wouldn't be surprised if we got the same mercenary company after a little rebranding. And I'm sure as hell not surprised to see an army of scabs under my gates.
So you believe the scabs were organized by the security contractor?
Which we've already figured out, but Evrart doesn't know that.
You said it. Hell, one of those guys looks big enough to take down that proverbial elephant. Boys like that don't just happen to show up during strikes.
Do I play my hand and tell him who it is? Yeah, this game is certainly a memorable experience. Like, all the decisions you make are so impactful and so irrevocable and so hard to make. It's interesting and stressful, but in an interesting way. I am not going to play that part of my hand. I'll ask Joyce about it. Another question.
Absolutely, Harry. Absolutely. Sock it to me.
You mentioned a lawyer girl.
Oh, Liz is a bright one. I paid for that law degree myself, thinking it'll probably turn her all fancy. But hell, Harry, she came back a firebrand socialist. Sometimes she scares me with her zeal.
Tell me about Titus Hardy and his crew.
Oh, they are simply fine young men, all 7 of them. Exemplary union members, always working to advance their position in the local socialist democratic movement. Core members.
Oh, excuse me. Were there 7 of them? I think there were 7 of them.
Old Theo used to run them, but things really kicked into gear when Titus took the reins and named the group after himself. Gotta love his initiative.
Interesting. Who's second in command?
They're almost all of them great guys, born leaders. Whatever happened, I'm sure they only had the best interests of Martinez and Revachol in mind. Work with them. Hell, interview them. But don't fight them. They really are just like you. Men who like beer, women, and some order on the streets.
There was a bullet in the hanged man's head.
So they shot him.
He sounds pleasantly surprised.
He was shot in the head before he was hanged.
How odd. I don't know what to say, Lieutenant. They told me they hanged him. A hanged man is what I saw when I took a look into that yard.
It's impossible to say if he's telling the truth, sire.
Did you take a look from up here, or did you leave your container?
What I do know is, the case is in safe hands. If anyone can get to the bottom of this shot and hanged man, it's my two little policemen. Godspeed, policeman.
Everett, I met these Hardys. Can you ask them to cooperate with me?
But of course, it's the least I can do for my good friend Harry. I'll do it right after we've concluded this talk.
You can now go and tell Titus about this. See what he has to say.
Also, Harry, here's 5 real.
This is another bribe, but it's such a insultingly small bribe. I'll ask, why are you giving it to me?
I'm not giving you anything. I'm just holding out 5 real.
I don't need it. I only wanted you to help me with the Hardy boys.
Oh, I wasn't offering it to you, just holding it out there. But I'm willing to share information. Was there anything else?
Good talk. Let's conclude for now.
Was it a good talk? I'm not sure we made much headway here. I was hoping we'd bust the case wide open. Heck, I even wanted to tell you what I really want to achieve with the strike.
And what's that?
I don't know what happened, Harry. I wanted you to feel like Mr. Martinez. And of course, I also wanted you to find your gun. But it's like I can't completely trust you. Yet.
Yet?
Yes, Harry. It's like I can't fully trust you if you're not a man of the left. I want to, but I just can't.
A man of the left. So you have to be a social democrat.
Do I have to answer a bunch of questions as a social democrat, or do I have to internalize a thought?
He's been hurt too much in the past by men who aren't social democrats.
Ooh. I don't like any of these dialogue options. I've already got the world's most laughable centrist achievement. You missed a really gross autopsy, Danny. So be glad you missed it. I fished around in a guy's brain and pulled out a bullet. After talking about how much he was rotting. It's interesting that the political compass is a triangle instead of the usual square. What are the points on the triangle in this particular political compass? There's the communists, or at least the social democrats. There's the capitalists. Alright, what the hell am I going to say here? I place centrism in the center, but it does feel lib-lefty in comparison to the libertarian ultra-capitalism. Yeah, I agree. Man, the r/political compass means is a cesspit. Like the idea of the compass is sound, but what they do with it is just so bad. Alright, what the hell do I want to say here? I guess I'm a centrist in this world's political arrangement. Alright, I'm not a man of the left, I'm a patriot of Revachol is not what I want to say, and it would shut him down hard. If I say you're right not to trust me, I take care of me, I'm a hustler, I grind, I'm a money engineer, that would also be bad. Probably? Actually, he might like the honesty. No. No, hang on. He might... He might like that. What's that supposed to mean? I'm more left than you are is a lie. This is another corrupt scheme, isn't it? I'm neither left nor right to do what my heart tells me to do. Maybe more honest, but would shut down this conversation. I'm going to say you're right not to trust me and see what happens.
Perfect, Harry. That's perfect. My version of the left is not against the companies, it's with the companies. Honestly, what I have in mind is a business proposal. A left-wing business proposal, but still...
And what would this entail?
Once again, I require nothing unethical or illegal of you. You just need to get 2 little signatures on this piece of paper, and then mail it to my accountant in La Delta.
I don't like this. What are these signatures for?
I'm glad you asked, Harry. The Union is going to build a modern youth centre in Martinez. It will be righteous. We're gonna get those teenagers off drugs and on roller skates.
The drugs you're peddling, you mean?
There's a nameless little street on the coast with some old houses around it. Most people have already signed. I just need 2 more signatures to get this mission off the ground, Harry.
And we're supposed to intimidate people. Is that what you're getting at? Where is this place exactly?
On the coast, Harry, across the canal. There's a cul-de-sac there, a little village they're calling it. A gloomy place. You'll find it. I trust your detective skills, Harry.
Water drips from the eaves. A woman looks at her freshly tarred skiff. There's a pair of cavalry boots under the fish in the box, and the wind howls like a vicious spirit.
What will happen to the current occupants?
They are just going to have to deal with the construction noise for 6 months, and then they'll be living like kings. Right next to a fancy new youth centre, designed by the best architects from Stella Marie.
And you're sure you're not going to evict them? I'm not sure I'd believe you if you said you weren't.
Is he absolutely sure the tenants won't be thrown out in the street?
Are you 100% sure no one's going to end up homeless?
Am I? Harry, these people, Martinez is the most important thing in my life. I would never let anything bad happen to them. We're gonna build a youth center there. The value of their properties goes up and kids have a place to play in. I'm looking out for these people, not pulling the rug from under them, Harry. I'm looking out for all of Martinez, not just the harbor.
Kim, what do you think of this?
It depends. I don't think what we just got from Mr. Clare was very useful.
He studies Everard.
But, he thinks, it's your call.
Oh, thanks.
As I said, it weighs on me heavily. But once we get really talking, well, I'm gonna hand you the keys to Martinez, and maybe even help you figure out who's behind this killing.
Okay, so he obviously already knew that the Hardy Boys didn't do it. But now that it's out and about that we found a bullet, I wonder if he wants to figure it out too and doesn't know. And he's just using this to manipulate us into doing his dirty work to make us more in debt to him. He could genuinely not know and want to figure it out.
He's saying as little as possible, as vaguely as he can, deliberately omitting things.
Fine, if I happen to be there, I can ask them.
You bring joy to my heart, Harry. Such a pleasure to be working with you. Here.
He hands you an open white envelope.
You need to get signatures from Isabel Sadie and Lillian Carter. The cul-de-sac is right past the pawn shop and across the canal. I hear there is some trouble with the waterlock, but they should fix it by Wednesday morning.
So I can't proceed with Everard until Wednesday.
Once you have the signatures, mail this to 13022 La Rocca in La Delta. Then I know we can do business together.
He runs his fingers through his hair. All right.
See you soon, Debardeur. Just kidding, but not too much.
All right, let's talk to the Hardy Boys. I've got that autosave, but I'm going to manually save too. I wonder what Kim has to say.
Yes?
Nothing new. All right. The envelope is examinable. Oh, I can interact with the fractured bullet, too.
The bullet is safely sealed away in a plastic bag bearing the RCM stamp. Kim has filled out the label on the bag with the item number, case number, and date and location the bullet was found. Beside his orderly handwriting, the bullet looks especially sad, like a tiny, shriveled head of cauliflower.
What do I do with you, Bullet?
What?
The lieutenant steps closer. I said that out loud. I said, what do I do with you, Bullet?
Well, if I was the Bullet, which I'm not, I would say, find the weapon that shot me.
Good idea.
If we find who owns it, we will have likely found who used it, possibly to kill our victim. In conclusion, the more we know about this bullet of yours, the better.
Inspect the bullet closer.
The jacket of the bullet is made of a yellowish metal. It has blossomed out to reveal a dark grey core. The base of the bullet is close to 5 millimeters in diameter.
That's a small-ass bullet. Look at the jacket.
You can just about make out a few striations near the base of the bullet. Little hairlines, linear. It feels standard.
And the core?
It's quite destroyed. Some of the fragments are still lodged in the wound.
What can you say about the bullet so far?
It's a jacketed bullet, close to 5 millimeters in diameter.
A jacketed bullet. Okay. It would have been shot from a military-grade breech-loading rifle, not from a muzzleloader, like those typically found on the streets of Martinez.
You guys are still using muzzle loaders?
Highly unusual. The people of Revachol haven't carried breech-loading weapons like this for nearly half a century.
Okay, a breech-loading rifle. Which is a modern gun in the real world, right? What part of the gun is the breech? Breech loader is something that is loaded at the back of the barrel. Okay. Into the receiver, more or less. Okay. So, military-grade breech-loading rifle. So it could have been one of the other mercenaries. Or it could have been somebody who got his gun away from him.
Even the RCM uses ordinary unjacketed conical bullets. This is strange. Very strange. I like this, officer. Strange means unique. Unique means incriminating. We need to find the gun that shot it.
Well, this seems like a good start.
Something tells you that won't be any time soon. This'll have to be one of those epic tasks that's open for a while.
3% chance. I mean, it's a white check. I can retry.
You can't remember what
Snake
happened
eyes.
last week. What makes you think you're going to remember arcane firearm models?
I'll feel the bullet through the bag.
The squashed bullet has some sharp edges where the jacket has split open. It feels cold, even through the bag. You wouldn't ordinarily have cause to handle jacketed bullets. The citizens' militia uses cast bullets only. Little pebbles of metal loaded from the muzzle, usually in a cartridge.
Weird. Oh, I had a better... I can try it again because I got to feel the bullet through the bag thing.
You can't remember what happened last week. What makes you think you're going to remember arcane firearm models?
Alright, white envelope with a stamp attached to the upper right corner. Handed to you by Everard Clare. Inside are some legal documents with 2 names printed on them. Isabel Sadie and Lillian Carter. Both signatures are required.
You take the legal documents out of the envelope. A 12 to 40 month construction period and the zoning plan in the addendum.
So not a 6-month construction program then. Look at the zoning plan.
The youth center cuts into the ocean like the bow of some great modern ship. Apparently, it's going to cover most, if not all, of the street and the square between the existing houses. It's 3 stories tall. It's going to be awfully close to the already existing buildings, almost wall to wall, practically integrating them into the youth center.
Lovely.
This is either an ominous or cool architectural choice. Hard to say. My money is on cool. Looks like a cubic pyrite.
Kim, what do you think of this?
I'm no property lawyer, but it looks fine. I like the print size. They're not selling or leasing anything. It's not a perfect solution, but...
He shrugs.
How else are you going to build something? It's always inconvenient to build things. and citizens inevitably have disagreements over such construction projects. But there's no other way.
Find a loophole in the deal.
There doesn't seem to be
Snake
anything
Eyes!
of interest here. No fine print. You're smart. You can read.
Come on. Alright, let's go talk to the Hardy Boys. I could put a point in logic, that's true. I have 3 skill points, and I could use more points and stuff.
You take the legal documents out of the envelope. But again, the document
Another
doesn't
Snake
seem to
Eyes.
have
Oh,
any
come on.
clause. Maybe, just maybe, what you see is what you get with Mr. Everard.
Well, I'm not going to spend another point on it yet. We'll see what happens. That'll be a next in-game day thing. Because we've got to get across the canal to do it. Do I send... I don't know how late I can send Kim back to the station with the body. How late can I send him back to the station with the body? Because he may say no if I try to do it too late. I wonder. We've got 3 in-game hours before... 3 in-game hours before it's time to investigate the apartment. Alright, I'm going to take a quick break and go to the bathroom and have a snack. So I'll be back in a minute. Alright, I'm back. Alright. Alright, Kuno.
Necromancer pig? That shit was dark. Going in there like that. Oh, brutal shit. Tell me, Kuno dies. You gonna pick one out of his brain like that too? Kuno's gonna go out in a hail of bullets. Gonna look like a fucking porcupine.
Just for you, kid. I will absolutely mutilate your corpse.
Porta Rosa, a side alley of the Boogie Street Spearhead. A young man in his early 20s approaches patrol officer Emil Mullins and asks for a cigarette. As Officer Mullins reaches in his coat pocket for the pack of Astra he just purchased this morning, the man shoots him point blank in his chest. Breathless, the patrol officer collapses in the gutter. His right hand is grabbing the armor on his chest. The bullet didn't pierce it, but he can't breathe. On the pavement, the patter of the perpetrator's feet growing distant. Bleed, pig. Someone opens a window and says, but Emil cannot see who. His sight grows dim with pain.
You know what's a good line of work for getting shot? Oh no. Well, now he admires me, so maybe he'd be receptive to being told to be a cop. Fuck it, I'll say it. You know what's a good line of work for getting shot?
Pigs.
He nods. There's a silence. It carries. Talk to Manana about the armor. Oh, I get a +3 because he saw me find the bullet. Ooh. Ooh, nice. Alright, I'm gonna see if I have any empathy gear on.
Kuno doesn't fucking care.
Sure you do now, Kuno. You're a fan now. I have no empathy gear. Damn.
Fuck does Kuno care?
The boy turns to you. He doesn't care.
He's on your crime scene, bossing you around. And he's been here for some time too. This is where he hangs out. You have to get more out of him. He could be useful.
Well, I failed that, so he's not going to be receptive to any of these options. Kuno, you must have seen all kinds of things throwing stones here. Want to help the RCM bust a murderer?
Fuck no. What are you? Fucking mentally handicapped?
Kuno, they've almost made you a snitch now.
Ease off, see? Kuno always takes the bullet over the hammer.
He nods, big boy style, incredibly proud of himself.
He'd rather die than work with the justice system.
Do I try again? I'm not sure I want to put a point into empathy. Well, empathy might be useful. Empathy might be useful later. I have 2 points left. Talk to Manana about the armor.
So?
He raises his eyebrows, projecting aggressive indifference. I said you're now the king of the entire Jamrock. Ooh, what do I say here? What did he say Kuno did? I'm going to say he told me you promised to sick the pigs on him. I think that's what I'm going to say. Hang on. Yeah.
Yeah, so? Kuno did sick the pigs on him? Kuno's a man of his word.
You know what? You did sick the pigs on him. Fair enough.
Kuno sent your fat ass running around like jello.
Look, pig. Kuno sent you to rough some people up. Kuno played you. That happened. Now you and Kuno should move on.
I will remember this, Kuno.
You got fucked. You got fucked, pig. Fucked bad. Of course you're gonna remember this. Now get the fuck out of here, griefing the Kuno.
I probably have a minus to my chance to do that. Figure out the kid thing now.
After this shit, you better have something real interesting to say if you want to stay in Kuno's face.
Yeah, real interesting.
Well, that didn't give me a minus. Huh. What happens if I try to discuss the body with him again? No, I don't want to talk to fucking Kuno anymore.
Kuno doesn't fucking care.
Fuck off, kid. $6.21. All right.
You see a set of tattered curtains blocking the way to another room. A strange cage-like trinket dangles from the curtains.
Let's do this. Pull the curtains open.
You see a dimly lit room full of dusty furniture and trash. A doorway stands in the back, covered in dozens of scary little Seminese wards, your shadow looming over it like an omen.
Oh!
A small, terrified O escapes from Placence as she tries her best to look away, her round face buried in her hands. Yes, give me money! Ghostly silhouettes of hairdryers. No sane person would ever put their head into such a machine. A vaguely androgynous portrait of a man. Alright, let's check out the warded door.
A heavy door with a missing handle stands before you, covered in dozens, if not hundreds, of Seminese trinkets and charms. It appears to be locked.
Really? Because it looks like there's 9 of them. I don't need to break down the door. I unlock the door with the key. Except there's no handle. I guess I could push it?
After exerting some force, you manage to turn the key. It's eerily silent. The door slides slightly open, letting a draft of cold air into the room. You feel the tiny hairs on the back of your neck rise up, as if someone's standing right behind you. An uneasy knot forms in the pit of your stomach.
Touch the back of your neck. What is this feeling?
Outside, the wind howls in from across the bay. The building at Rue de Saint-Ghislain stands like a matchbox on its side, with men inside like little wooden sticks ready to catch fire. A panicking woman squeezes the pendant around her neck until it leaves a mark inside her palm. A man, a few meters away, stands frozen with a key in his hand. Somewhere inside, a spider is spinning its web.
Open the door and enter. Oh, it's just a gym. Sand is dripping from a punch bag. The poster says Citius Fortis. The rest is worn off. Smells like leather and sweat. Worn out wall bars. They look unsafe. Can I pick this up?
A barbell lies on the floor. The color has worn off its weight plates. It's 60 kilograms. Your triceps hum at the sight of these weights. Show the world what kind of beast it's dealing with. Lift
That
them.
will probably hurt me.
There are no collars on the barbell. This is a safety hazard. Why does it feel so familiar?
Excuse me. Kim's got dialogue, he's got the speech bubble and all that. Alright, I will check that out in a moment. Is this familiar because I'm a weightlifter?
No, it's not that. It's the stale smell of rubber, the squeaky sound of sneakers, your bruised knee against the mat, and a whistle. Then the feeling is gone. It's just a memory from another life, when you were young and fit.
What is this place?
The lieutenant stares at the dusty training equipment. Looks like a gym to me.
Yes, but no one's been here in ages.
He draws a stripe on the dusty floor with his foot.
I doubt the electricity still works. Good thing we have a flashlight on us. Don't forget to take it out of your bag before we move on.
Some specks of dust shimmer in a faint beam of daylight falling from the window. Other than that, the room is dark. An eerie feeling rises in your chest.
Well, let's just keep going. I'm sure it's just a regular abandoned house. Nothing mysterious here.
Sounds good.
Let's pull out that flashlight. There we go. The hallway is blocked by old window panes and debris. Looks like the remains of the 24-hour window repair shop. A large demijohn full of strange liquid. What is a demijohn? Presumably not a toilet. Wild animals stare at you in the dark, stuffed and mounted. Oh, I can turn... Oh, the flashlight turns to look at what I'm focused on. Airship rotors covered in spider webs. They remind you of blades. A naked mannequin torso, a strange yellow color. Well, look at all the green bubbles first. Blue velvet, soft to the touch, moth-bitten. Skis with slipstream printed on the laminated top layer. Steel rotor blades bearing a slipstream logo.
Looks like someone tried to reconceptualize their business here.
I don't get it.
Look, the skis and rotor blades both bear the same slipstream logo. It seems likely that they started out making one, failed to turn a profit, and then pivoted to producing the other.
But the question is, which did they start with and which did they pivot to?
That's a good question.
What a strange leap of imagination, and yet they still failed. How sad.
Reality is ruthless.
What's in this? Production schedule filament memory. The cube-like crisscross of filaments feels oddly fragile in your hand, its intricate structure covered in dust. Silver tape on the side reads, production schedule. Note, this filament contains information that can be read using a radio computer. Okay, but I can sell it for 50. That'll cover a couple of nights. A radio computer, huh? Do you have one of those in the car? I don't think so.
Yes?
Is this Emma's atelier? Oh. 3 real. Nice.
Your flashlight slides over an old green chalkboard covered in scribbles, sketches, and schemes, like some ancient cave mural.
With an elf on it, apparently.
Some of the writing has faded with age, but you can still make out sections here and there. Photos and drawings have been pinned to the board.
How do you pin something to a chalkboard? Inspect the drawings.
These lithe, pointy-eared creatures appear to be different types of welkins. You make out autumnal candle welkins, casting wax-based magic. Translucent welkins, with organs shining under their skin. And even ether welkins, hailing from the vast emptiness of sidereal space. Who are all those creatures? Fantasies of a tortured, feverish mind?
Or just regular fantasy Inland Empire. Come on.
You should adopt one of those welkins as your persona. No longer a mere man, but a welkin.
No, I'm not really the elf type.
One of the welkins, towering among the rest, appears to be different, however.
Examine the welkin. This is important.
It's Vara Hamira, a high welkin, his face white and scarred like cracked marble. This is clearly a welkin supremacist. The note says, all non-welkin races will be purged.
Great. Well, I've got a non-welkin to introduce him to.
The Haldor, the Twarg, the humans, and even headless men, all of them, purged. Imagine a world filled only with welkin, green welkin, dread welkin, and the high welkin to rule them all.
An inordinate amount of time has gone into drawing these little welkin creatures.
One of them is a welkin supremacist.
Mm-hmm. Political commentary. That one has a great beard, too.
The lieutenant nods at the welkin's facial hair. Why would anyone spend so much time on this?
Some people really like building a world, I think. Even if it's just for games.
Oh man, that's some fun commentary. Fucking elves, yup. Oh, this has been educational. Let's move on from the welkins.
Just look at those details. So much effort.
Yeah, they did a really good job. Inspect the photos.
The photo collage depicts barren, icy landscapes wrapped in perpetual night. You see permafrost and glacial landforms, dead trees grown in under the snow. Entire oceans have been frozen from shore to shore. There are pictures of settlements on dried-up riverbeds, abandoned in a storm. Animal corpses in the dark, carcasses and bones. You see primitive oil rigs built into glaciers, boreal dvorg, yurts under the snow, great mammoth-like beasts of burden.
I thought these were photos. Is this just drawings?
Albeit dark and cold, this vision also feels cozy in its own way, like eggnog or morphine, a much-needed respite from our own world. A pinned postcard reads, "The heat-death scenario, a desperate fight for geothermal energy engulfs the world as Wirral becomes untethered from its sun, drifting through the universe."
Man, were they making a tabletop game? I guess the shop sells those. Inspect the schedule.
This is a monthly calendar from the year 50. Cryptic words like sprint, daily minimi, and GPI span the marker-drawn grid, the grand scheme of production and money. It looks a bit like an academic calendar, only much more brutal. Minimi stands for a mini-meeting. It's part of a bigger framework for managing work called RUN. Station 41 tried to implement it a few years ago, but failed.
Keep reading. What happened?
As time goes on, the numbers in the boxes grow rarer and rarer. The board becomes an empty snowfield in the final days. Only failure and regret dwell in this region.
Looks like they didn't make it.
The lieutenant looks at the frigid ice field of nothingness. Evocative.
A note in the bottom left corner of the chalkboard says, "See the prod schedule filament for details."
Well, we just got a filament. Inspect the notes.
The handwriting is only partly legible, but you can still make out 3 slogans: "Call in, tune out," "Wirral untethered," and "Heat death of the universe." The full text reads, "Heat death of the universe is the new black." Another note says, "The biggest advancement in role-playing systems since the 30s. Outside, a cold wind wraps the building in its bosom. Snowflakes in the wind. An old woman passes what the locals call the doomed commercial area. She tries hard not to look at the bookstore windows. It's unwise."
This is a fun bit of world building. Scribbled across a notebook. Developers of the most advanced RPG in the universe. What's in this door? Oh, what's in this?
This old fireplace is covered in lines drawn in blue and red marker, the mesh spreading over the stone like blood vessels on alabaster skin. It looks ghostly and strangely ancient. The whole thing resembles Kadran mosaic tiles. Very pedantic.
Hold on, how do I know what Kadran mosaic tiles are supposed to look like?
History classes, students with their textbooks open, studying the roots of our civilization. Those aquarelle blue tiles looked beautiful in the sun.
What am I looking at?
Radio frequencies, it seems. UKV 123.6, UKV 123.7, UKV 123.9. Some written notes, too. Sparse and cryptic.
Radio frequencies for what?
Unclear. It looks like a cardiovascular system split into veins and capillaries. Very advanced.
Of course, the anatomy of...
The curse.
I'll say, so we're dealing with something medical here.
You think so? The web is comprised of radio stations. All lead back to one.
Yeah, I didn't expect that to be the right answer, but...
The Game Master frequency. A note says, this one can listen in on any station it wants. Looks like a surveillance program.
If it's a game, then who's playing?
Whoever decides to call in to a call-in station, it looks like.
So is this an ARG?
A list of names under the stations suggests people across 6 Isolas would be playing. Muindi, Insulinda, Kotla, Grad, Samara, and even Ilmara. There's no way a little basement studio working here could pull anything like this
They
off.
were pretty ambitious.
My God. It's as if the less money they had, the more ambitious their project became.
Why do you say that?
The schedule. I know doom when I see it. The company was running out of funding.
What else? Squinted the lines.
Nothing. It's just lines on marble. An echo from times long gone. No one has used the fireplace in ages.
And what's through this door? No, wait, hang on. There was something else in there. I thought this door would open and lead me to whatever is over there. Aha!
An iron safety curtain curves before your eyes, folded like a bellows. It covers half the room, blocking the way into a colossal industrial chimney. This must be where the entity lives.
Screw it, I'll knock on it.
What an odd thing to do. Nothing happens.
Shoes in a puddle of melting snow. Floorboards creak. Postcard, La Delta 51. Sunlight has made this postcard almost completely sepia-toned. Midtown traffic passes. Overhead, the ghosts of skyscrapers disappear into a beige midday mist. Vapor rising from the delta on which the district was built. The postcard is prepaid. Does someone live here? Does someone live here? I don't think so. Alright, now let's go into that other room. The wind howls in from the coal chute above. Oh, what is that glowy-eyed bear? It's a fridge?
You see a terrifying ice bear with a strange compartment in its belly. The door is covered in frost, and the bear's eyes are glowing red. This ice bear is a hyper-carnivore. Be careful. The bear looks oddly realistic. Is it taxidermy?
What is this thing? It looks like a giant ice bear. This is where you could have shoved him? Shoved who?
The lieutenant doesn't answer. His eyes are glued to the animal. A sharp slice of light shines out from its mysterious belly door.
Crack open the door.
A gust of freezing cold air rushes to greet you. You hear a low grumble as the bear regulates itself. This is the inside of a refrigerator.
Oh, this is where I could have put the body. Ah.
The lieutenant takes a peek inside. His hand has found the holster of his gun.
Look inside the refrigerator.
The shelves are empty. All you see are crumpled ice cream wrappers with the brand name, Revachol Ice City. A handwritten note has been attached to the door. The fridge is huge.
Take the note from the door.
You pocket the note and the little fridge magnets keeping it on the
Why
door.
did I take the magnets? What is a giant bear-shaped fridge doing in an abandoned cellar in the first place?
Good question. It looks like an ice cream fridge.
The lieutenant reaches for one of the wrappers. He studies it in the light. So they tried to sell ice cream from this hyper-carnivore?
I know. What an unfortunate marketing choice.
I mean, it works in the real world.
What is even worse, the bear is still costing them money to this day.
The lieutenant points at the red snaky cable running from the fridge.
The fridge buzzes with energy. The electricity bill on this thing must be catastrophic.
Examine one of the ice cream wrappers in there.
A friendly cartoon bear smiles back at you from a glossy cellophane wrapper. It looks nothing like the fridge. The paper still smells of vanilla and chocolate.
Kim, this fridge looks perfect for the corpse. We don't have to ask around anymore. I'm going to send him back with it. I'll say it.
It's certainly an eccentric choice, but it is big enough. And cold enough too.
But the optics on this are awful, he thinks. We need to be as silent as we can. Your visual confirms you could fit 2 more bodies in the ice bear fridge.
Why do I need to fit 2 more bodies in there?
Shall we go and get the body then? I'll take the head, you take the feet. The stairs won't be easy, but we'll manage.
The 2 of you. Easily.
Wait. I don't have a choice?
The body is heavier than you and stinkier. It takes half an hour.
Oh my god, I can't hear it over there.
To stuff it into the fridge. The lieutenant takes a step back to admire your handiwork.
Beautiful. A dead body in an ice bear fridge. This is some of the best body's work I've ever
Oh
done.
hey, I leveled up. Cool.
You've definitely earned a drink after this. Perhaps even some pagan rites.
Shut up, physical instrument. Not sure I believe you.
Of course you don't. Look at that. What have we done? We stuffed a dead body in an ice bear fridge. This does not leave this room.
We did our best with the means at our disposal. It's art. We're artists, and this was our vision.
Did we though? Okay, maybe we did. At least we've stopped the body from decomposing further. Now you can conduct another inspection under controlled circumstances.
Inside the icy realm of the ice bear fridge, the corpse stands slumped, waiting.
I'm going to tell you to take the body away later, Kim. But not right now. Oh, we made it to 712. An ice cream maker, defrosted and unplugged. Flashlight casts a strange shadow. There is a hidden doorway here. Ooh. Aha! 2 rusty rifles are hidden above the piping. They look inoperable. Someone has stuck some busted guns beneath the ceiling. This looks like it was set up a very long time ago.
A few bricks have fallen off, revealing a compartment behind the wall. It's too dark to see in.
I do have a flashlight. Where are we? Look around the secret room.
Seems like an old bunker from the revolutionary period. Look at all those rifles. Must be an old weapons cache.
Look, there's a hole in the wall.
There is, yes. And there also appears to be something inside the hole. Interesting. Do you want to take a look?
Okay, I do.
Your hand reaches deep into darkness and spiderwebs. Rummaging around, you find rusty rifles hidden away.
Inspect the rifles.
Most of them are rusty and inoperable, like the rest. But one catches your eye. A bolt-action model with a fine wood stock, in better cosmetic order than the others.
Am I just going to take a gun? This one looks nice. Take the rifle.
That's a rare sight. Seems to no longer be functional, but still a beautiful thing in its own way.
Could the murder weapon we're looking for be similar?
It's the same type of weapon, yes. A breech loader. An interesting coincidence that we should find something so similar. But I'm afraid our search for the real murder weapon must continue.
What does this mean, a rifle here?
It means there are firearms, albeit inoperable, still lying around in Martinez. It's an interesting coincidence, I would say. Might come in useful in the future.
Yep, if I get a bullet, I can defend myself with this thing. Also, it means there's probably a gun. The bullet was probably fired from a gun in one of these old caches. Maybe the old soldier knows what's up.
He likes this find.
Oh my god, there's so much to this area. Let's look around back here first. The wall collapsed. It's inaccessible now.
A thick layer of coal dust covers the furnace, coloring it pitch black. Looks like this furnace has a face, and it's a face of agony.
Smear your hands with coal? No! Look inside the furnace.
It's dark and grimy here. In the darkness you can hear chatter. It's coming from above. A voice, or several voices, talking to each other. Near the smoke chamber, upstairs.
Well, let's listen in.
The echo is so prominent, it's impossible to discern what the voices are saying, or what's producing them.
Damn it.
What are you doing?
The lieutenant asks when he sees you climb halfway inside the furnace. Not sure, Kim, but I think I can hear someone talking upstairs.
Wait, really? Maybe it's coming from behind those safety curtains we saw upstairs.
Should I yell hello? You know what? Sure.
You must
Snake
put all your
eyes.
strength and yell. dehydrated, hungover throat can produce little more than a dry croak. A lifetime of smoking and drinking will do that to you. The chatter from the chimney continues on as before. You seem to have made no impression on whatever's up there.
I'm getting a lot of snake eyes today.
Then again, maybe it's worth actually trying something up there.
Maybe you should let your voice rest, officer. Try again later.
Those voices I heard. Maybe it's the malignant entity. Places said it lives in a chimney.
You're right. The rooms do look like they're connected. But malignant entities don't exist. At least not the supernatural kind.
Yeah, but I'm talking about what she thinks.
Always has to be the skeptic, this man. Then what was the chatter you heard?
I will try the security door again later. Frozen ice cream maker that's still running. Ooh. .7 real. Ooh, what is this?
2 cables are plugged into the breaker box. The red one leads to the ice bear fridge, and the black one to the ice cream maker nearby.
Why would I unplug this? No. Intercom wires running into the breaker box. Oh, clothes. Insane mesh tank top? +1 drama. Clinically insane. Where did you even get that one? No, really. Who put it in that drawer? No further comments. Wear it at your own risk. People aren't going to like me if I wear that, huh? Probably gets unique dialogue options. Oh. That leads out here. Alright. Well, back in we go. Alright, let's try unplugging the ice cream maker, see what happens.
2 cables are plugged into the break. Something close to you dies with a soft electric purr.
Why did you do that?
Because it's black, the color of immeasurable cosmos. It's black. It's not like it's the red one.
The lieutenant raises his brows, but doesn't say anything. The electric distribution board now has 1 cable missing.
Let's take a look at the ice cream maker now. I can no longer look at the ice cream maker. Damn, let's plug it back in.
Only the red cable is somewhere. A machine hums along with the current.
Oh, I didn't look in this. Ooh, 2 real. And a magnesium. I'm at $12.64 towards an extra day at the Whirling in Rags.
As before, an iron safety curtain curves before your eyes. It covers half the room, blocking the way into a colossal industrial chimney. This is directly above the central furnace in the cellar. The voices probably came from here.
Let's see what happens. Hello? I yelled, but it didn't work.
Again, your voice becomes a raspy croak mid-sentence. It's silent in the abandoned office building. No one answers you.
Damn.
Sire, may we suggest something? Think of the yelling into the furnace as a grand performance. Use your chest voice, not your head voice. Sing from the diaphragm. Perhaps it's not such a bad idea. Try it again, son. Again, your voice becomes a raspy croak. Sire, may we suggest something? Perhaps it's not such a...
Alright. What was the skill check for that? I'll probably put a point into it.
A thick layer of
Physical
coal dust
instrument
covers the furnace, coloring
Oh,
it
I can try it
pitch
again.
black.
Oh, I sing from the diaphragm.
Something
There we go.
breaks loose in you. A mighty bellow echoes throughout the chimney's depths. The chatter of tiny voices above suddenly cease. Then,
You hear a woman's voice answer.
you've awakened the entity. And it's a woman. Of course. The malicious entities are always women.
I summon the ghost of this doomed commercial area. Now begone, vile succubus. I'm actually going to say, hello, are you there? Speak to me.
Hello? Did you say anything? I can't hear you. Please come upstairs. There's a safety curtain on the second floor. I'll open it.
Well, that was easy.
You hear a low rumble upstairs. The sound of a curtain being pulled aside.
After you, officer.
Well, that was easy. This tray is full of dice, colorful polyhedral dice. Hundreds of them. Oh, we got a D&D player. The candy dispenser has been repurposed to contain thousands of dice.
Hello. I'm Nia.
A bird-like woman sits on a throne of tools with emerald light shining through her hair.
Did you try knocking on my window? I must have missed you. I've been listening to my Milius.
She taps on her headphones.
So what kind of die are you looking for?
Could this be the malicious entity? Perhaps it's wise to go along with this masquerade for now. She's got a direct view to the backyard. You should interrogate her about the lynching.
Ooh. Hold on, what do you mean by milius?
Yes, a Milius is like a call-in station. You need a two-way radio to access one. That's why I have these.
She pats the headphones on the table.
Mostly, they just teach you to swear in different languages. But some of the stations can be quite interesting. I was so absorbed, I must have missed you knocking.
You must have me confused with someone else. I haven't knocked on your window.
Then how did you get inside? By the south entrance? You know what? It doesn't even matter. What matters is that you're finally here. Let's talk dice. Did you have something specific in mind?
Why are you asking me about dice?
I'm a novelty dice maker. Tell me the name of your role-playing system and I'll make the die you need. That's why you're here, yes?
Oh, sorry. I'm so sorry to shoot you down. That's not why I'm here. Oh, I feel bad for this lady.
As she speaks, her bone-like fingers fiddle with a ring. Her bones light, but her hands strong.
Let's see what she has for sale. Sure, I like role-playing games and I need some dice.
Very good. My rate is 10 real per set. Unless you want something really unusual.
Well, that's gonna be a no.
Take a look around and see if there's any particular stone you want to use.
The walls around her are covered with rows of precious stones and minerals. Oh, it's 10 real for like ruby dice or whatever. Okay, that's more realistic.
It almost looks as if the stones and dice are a natural part of the room, growing out of the shelves like stalagmites. No falsehoods are present. She's a novelty dice maker and doesn't have anything to hide. Ask what you need.
I'll ask about her personal life. How did you become a dice maker?
How did I become one? It was a business decision. I was a regular jeweler at first, but that's an unfocused field with too much competition. Some of my friends were role players. They asked me to make some polyhedral dice out of cobalt. That was my first order. I grew it from there.
Do you like role-playing games yourself?
Not especially. I like working with rare materials and a steady pay. And role players as customers? They're nice people.
Aw, that's sweet.
Some of those nice people have big bucks to spend on novelty items.
That's also true. What do you know about the man who was lynched behind the whirling in rags?
Nothing really. I didn't know him.
Who cares about the dead body? We might be dealing with a malignant entity here. The lieutenant looks at his notebook. Then, the woman under the large window.
Your window looks directly onto the courtyard. You're saying you didn't see or hear anything unusual last Sunday evening?
I'm sorry, Detective, but as you know, I usually have my headphones on when I'm working. It shuts out most of the daily ruckus behind my window.
What do you mean by the daily ruckus?
Well, there's always something going on in the Whirling's backyard.
She stops to try and come up with an example.
During daytime, there are usually those kids. And lately, I've been seeing a lot of drunk workers hanging about. Must be because of the strike.
She's heard of the murder, but did not see it, sire.
But I never saw anyone during that fateful Sunday night, I'm afraid.
Do you often work Sunday nights?
It's an odd profession, making dice for people. But I like it, and I prefer doing this to sitting at home.
And you never took your eyes off the work to look out the window?
I might have, but in this case, all I would have seen is my own reflection staring back from the darkness.
You know what? That's actually a good point.
It's really hard to make anything out in the yard when it's dark outside. Besides, I rarely get up to look out the window when I'm in the zone.
I see. Thank you for your answers.
She nods.
Anything else, officer?
Where are we anyway? What is this place?
We're inside the chimney of an old central furnace. It's strange, I know.
She looks at the ruddy bricks that make up the walls. Even though they've been repainted, there are still signs of coal-black soot here and there.
But when I arrived here, all the other rooms were taken, so I had to build myself a makeshift home. Besides, I don't really have to pay any rent here, so that's a plus.
That's actually a pretty sweet deal. And the furnace isn't being used anymore. Wait, weren't there multiple voices when we listened at the furnace?
Plaisance was right. There's an entity living in the chimney. You should ask her about the curse.
Creative.
The lieutenant looks around the spacious room, its ceiling fading into shadows above. Do you know what happened to the other tenants? Everyone else is gone.
More or less. Are you interested in anyone specific?
Oh, quite a lot of them spring to mind.
Oh, I've got a lot of stuff to ask her now. This will take up a good chunk of the time before 9 o'clock. There used to be a hair salon here, right?
Yes, I think it was called Androgynous Orlando or something similar. They weren't a big hit around here. Turns out that working class men don't like genderless haircuts. They're scared of that
Oh,
word.
they sure are.
You wouldn't like it either. The others would laugh at you. A bit of experimenting every now and then isn't bad.
Yeah, seriously. What's wrong with a bit of experimenting? The customers should have been more open-minded.
I guess it just wasn't the time yet.
She tucks a strand of hair under the headscarf. What happened to the gym?
It wasn't merely a gym, it was Artemitep's boxing club. A community project created to steer at-risk youth away from drugs and crime.
And who was Artemitep?
A kind man from Zemsk. I heard he had some trouble with the law when he was younger, and that's why he wanted to start the gym, as his way of giving back.
Maybe that's what Kuno needs, a community-centric boxing club.
Kuno. Who's Kuno?
He's a little ginger gremlin who likes to defile dead bodies.
Oh, you mean the kid with the sailor's mouth? Yes, I've heard him yelling profanities in the backyard.
She looks out of the window, her face reflecting back in the dark.
I think it would take more than a gym to help that
Oh,
kid.
you're absolutely right with that one. How did that community project work out?
It didn't. If anything, it made the youth situation in Martinez even worse. At some point, someone started a rumor that the punching bag downstairs was full of amphetamines.
You should have known it.
Shut up, electrochemistry.
It's not really full of that. No one would store their drugs like that.
Eventually, the coalition took away the funding and the club went bankrupt. This was a few years ago. It's gotten much more peaceful around the plaza ever since.
What's up with the broken windows?
Oh, this one's a mess. There used to be a company that promised to repair windows 24 hours a day. What could go wrong with this one, right?
Yeah, seriously.
Turns out, the business was actually set up as a front for an illicit group that was producing snuff milias. Who would have guessed?
Oh, gross!
What's the snuff milieu? Trust me, you don't want to know.
I know exactly what a snuff milieu is.
And they never cleaned up the debris either. Now it's just littering the hallway and I have no idea how to get rid of it on my own.
It's a shame about those windows. I'm not even going to ask about that milieu.
Yeah, don't.
She looks down, then up again. Did someone here make stuffed animals? I saw mounts lying around.
You mean Mr. Fabron, the taxidermist? No, he mostly just did drugs.
But what drugs exactly?
Shut up, electrochemistry. Let it pass.
Anything else?
Found creepy mannequins.
There used to be a fashion atelier here, but I have forgotten the head designer's name. They were doing well for a couple of years, until the insect rights activists came.
Insect rights activists? What in the name of...
Mm-hmm. The atelier produced a certain collection that used chitin among the materials. Apparently chitin is made in the Occident, where it's extracted from beetle wings.
It's a good job people in the universe can't hear you shouting your own brain like that, yeah.
And you know how all kinds of political movements are big in the Occident. The activists shut down the biggest chitin supplier, which of course caused the price to skyrocket. And, naturally, all the most fashionable tastemakers refused to be seen in chitin from then on. The atelier went bankrupt before they could finish the collection.
Glad that someone took care of the little guys. I like insects. But insects don't have any brains or feelings. I mean, they are just beetles. There's lots of stuff you make out of bugs.
Actually, insects do have brains, but yes, I understand what you're saying. I think the protesters took it a little too far.
As she shifts around, you notice several dead flies on the windowsill in front of her. Legs up. They're not moving.
Anything else?
What's with the rotor blades and skis?
They were made by a company called Slipstream. After they pivoted from making rotor blades to skis, their chief executive took off on a vacation with all their money.
She rests her chin on her hand with an impish smile. That's Slipstream SCA with the recording, right?
Honestly, I think it's quite funny. I think he's still sending out holiday transmissions from Tulula or Tiumotiri or Hashtkor or wherever he is.
Interesting. What do these transmissions say?
The usual, I imagine. That he's been thinking up all kinds of new business plans and can't wait to get started on them just as soon as he returns.
Her smile widens before she sees the lieutenant's face behind you.
Men like that are a curse.
The lieutenant is stern.
Sure, but Slipstream is history now. All their remaining assets got seized by the bailiffs in 47. I have no idea why those skis and blades are still lying around in the house. Not much use now, I guess.
They were just props. Why return them?
There was a terrifying taxidermied bear in the cellar.
Oh boy, the fabled Revershow ICT. You're in for a treat here.
She smiles and leans closer, hands on her knees, like a stand-up comedian ready to tell his story.
The place was owned by two guys who had some rather innovative ideas about marketing. The bear was one of them. Now ask me about their other ideas.
Oh boy, this I gotta hear.
Indeed. What were the other ideas?
Alright, what about the other ideas?
There was really just one, and it involved picking out the prettiest girls in the neighborhood and paying them 20 cents per hour to man the booth. And by man the booth, I mean slump behind the counter with a face that could maim you if you ever dared to disturb their bored magazine browsing.
She leans back, disapproving.
Fritta does the same thing.
What did they expect? 20 cents per hour is dog's pay. I'm surprised they showed up to work at all.
Oh, but they did. They did show up to work, and not alone. There were also acne-ridden girlfriends and gorilla-like boyfriends loitering near the ice cream stand. And they already had the bear.
She closes her eyes as if remembering something painful. What about the bear?
The bear.
She repeats, pressing thumbs into her temples like trying to suppress a headache. It didn't work out.
Of course not. The bear was terrifying. No one wants ice cream guarded by a hostile apex predator. To
I
make
would.
matters worse, the fridge didn't work too well either, and half the ice cream came out malformed and partially melted. Eventually, Ravishell Ice City lost the price war to its rival, Glacé 5000. Glacé 5000 sold caramel sundaes for only 5 cents a piece, out of regular fridges.
I'm sure the bear was doing its best.
Maybe, because the taxidermist who made that bear definitely wasn't. Doing his best, I mean.
How come?
He said that the bear was his vision beast. He said he met his vision beast while high on desiccants. Called it Megatherian.
Megatherian? That's a real word, isn't it?
Sounds cool.
Sounds cool indeed.
Scary, but cool.
What's a vision beast?
It's an imaginary beast that guides you through life by telling you to do more drugs, mostly.
A wise and noble beast, guiding you toward the land where the streets are paved with drugs.
I don't do drugs anymore.
Very good. You shouldn't do them. You're a police officer after all. Anyway, now you know the story of the fallen ice cream empire.
She seems almost sad, finishing the story.
The temperature has dropped in the cover of the night. You see frost on the windows.
Anything else? Another failed business, perhaps? I've been here for a long time.
I found the building's intercom, but it's not working.
Oh, right. I hope you didn't try to ring me. I think none of those doorbells work, including mine. I'm still in the middle of connecting the wires. Sorry about the confusion.
No, fair enough.
The doorbell with the empty name card must belong to her then.
A strange thing happened when I tried calling a company named Slipstream Ska. Someone answered.
It can't be true. They don't work here anymore. They've been gone for years. Are you sure it was Slipstream SCA? Was it a woman? Maybe it was Plaisance from the bookstore.
She said she was from Tricentennial Electrics.
Tricentennial Electrics?
There's a moment before she recognizes the name.
It used to be a major electric company 100 years ago. Are you sure it wasn't just some kids playing a prank on you?
That's a long time ago. Damn.
No, it was something else. It was eerie. It was too real to be just a prank. Either we're dealing with a professional actress, or...
This game is probably entirely mundane. Like, there's probably no magic in this game. Probably. I'm going to say it was something else, something eerie.
Pranks can be eerie.
She looks as if she's still convinced it's nothing to be worried about.
Oh, the kids these days. We were just one of them, and now they're terrorizing us. No solidarity.
So you're telling me that the doorbell with the empty name card was yours?
That's right. I haven't even written my name there. As I said, it's quite useless right now. It doesn't work yet.
I was wondering about the whirling in rags. Is it part of the same building complex?
You could say so. Both houses were built at the same time and under the East Delta Commerce Center project. That explains why you can call the whirling from the intercom. Albeit, I doubt that anyone responds.
If the whirling is part of the same building, then it's part of the doomed commercial area. The darkness of this place is there, too.
I saw a name, East Delta Pinball, on the doorbell.
Right. It used to be a gaming arcade. This is an ancient failure, before my time. I'm not surprised, however. My advice, don't base your business on a fad. Hypnotism, florography, trick track, especially pinball.
Pinball arcades are still a thing. They're not common, and they're not the most successful things in the world. But you still see pinball in various small arcades, movie theaters, bowling alleys, stuff like that. And there are straight-up pinball arcade companies. Some of them actually lease out pinball machines to various events.
Agreed. Pinball is the worst.
Not a fan. All right. Actually, the Slipstream Ska mystery might be a recording. I called again later and got exactly the same message.
Why would Slipstream SCA have a 100-year-old recording as their doorbell message? Doesn't make any sense. I'm still convinced it was nothing more than some elaborate prank.
My money is on electrical anomaly. I've heard of these, especially in an old building like this.
He looks around. I have a few more questions about the building.
Sure, I'm listening.
Actually, I had other questions.
Good. I hope it clarified things a bit. What else?
I heard this place is cursed. Do you know what that people call it, the doomed commercial area?
I've heard the stories, but I don't think those stories are true.
Plaisance is the one who sent me. She's convinced that the place is swarming with malicious energies.
Plaisance, the bookshop lady? I've heard that her business is doing rather well. Have the energies spared her somehow?
Actually, the bookstore isn't doing that well. There are hardly any customers. She has to exploit her own daughter to keep the company going.
Oh, right. But it's not just the bookstore that's still up and running. What about the whirling in rags? Some people say it's part of the building complex.
And customers have trouble paying bills. It's me. I'm customers. You're right, the whirling doesn't really look like it's cursed. Well, it did just have a man, a corpse hanged in its backyard.
And then there's me.
She sighs, looking at her messy work table. All kinds of tools lie there scattered, from knives to carving files to wire cutters.
I've been here for 14 years, selling novelty dice to role-playing enthusiasts. Not exactly a million-real business idea, yet somehow I've survived despite the talk of malicious energies. Strange, isn't it?
Hey, I'm a fan of your business.
It's because she's in cahoots with the demons.
Shut up, Half-Light.
Maybe it's just because she's so talented that she's been able to woo the curse.
I'll be the first to admit there are many inconsistencies in this so-called curse.
I was just about to ask. What do you think? Do you think the curse is real?
Hell no.
The jig is up. The she-demon knows you've uncovered her true identity.
Shut up, Half-Light.
Time has come to face the source. Fear not, for the forces of the universe are supporting you in this psychic quest.
I'm starting to see that there is no curse, only business decisions and natural market fluctuations.
Exactly. Truth is always so disappointingly mundane and boring. But I'm glad we got this sorted out. Anything else I can help you with today?
That's all she has to say on the subject. She's been thorough and truthful, as far as we can see.
Alright, I'll roll the dice on this, Shivers. 17%.
You feel nothing. If anything, it's uncomfortably warm in here.
Start taking off your clothes? No! Leave it at that.
She has begun to idly clean one of her carving tools with a dirty kerchief. The tool's sharp edge shining in the light of her desk lamp.
Well, that was a cool conversation. I like that NPC. She's cool. Alright. It's probably too late to talk to Plaisance. Let's see what happens when we go back out into the... Nope, not this way. Yeah, she's probably closed. Oh, no, she's still here.
You're alive and well. Don't keep me waiting now. What's in there? In that dark sarcophagus?
The dark sarcophagus?
Yes, yes. How was it?
Tell her how ghastly it was. You know it's what she wants to hear.
It was a charnel house of failed business enterprises, leeching life energy from this bookstore. Do I play along with her or not? I'm gonna be honest. Honestly, a dump. Nothing to see there, just heaps of garbage. Someone should let the sunshine in.
But what else did you find? Did anything survive? No, of course not. Have you located the entity?
I talked to the entity you told me about. Her name is Niha, and she's a novelty dice maker.
A novelty dice maker? Well, spit it out. Why does she need the dice? For some kind of sorcery? Sometimes they use the ankle bones of sheep.
I wonder how much bone dice go for. Because I'm sure that's a whole business, carving dice from bone. I'm sure ivory dice are expensive. And super illegal at this point. Do I play along with her? She's not a sorceress or some malicious entity. She's a businesswoman like you.
I don't understand. If it's not her, then where is the source of the doom? How did she explain the curse?
She looks perplexed.
The narrative she's built herself, it does need tearing down.
Lie! The source is in the taxidermist's shop. He became involved in arts darker than taxidermy and brought the void spirits down upon this place. There is another entity, more malignant, pulling the strings in Martinaise. Perhaps in my travels I will cross paths with it. No, I'm going to say she says there is no curse because there are too many inconsistencies.
Too many inconsistencies. What kind of talk is that?
The woman scoffs at you with an audible snort.
Good luck persuading her. Some people can rationalize anything.
Which of these do I want to say? As I said, she's a novelty dice maker. Her business has been up and running for a long time now. Well, maybe she'll say that's because she's the source of the curse. No, I'll say that.
Yes, because her business consists of the psychic leech that's been feeding the curse.
Yeah, I thought that's what you'd say. Red blotches appear in her skin.
I see that you've fallen for her manipulation, Detective. The investigation is over. I just hope that you haven't made anything worse by going in there. Thank you for nothing. Please do buy some books or be on your way.
She concludes, tucking the pendant away in her blouse. Oh, and I don't even have to go through this shop anymore, because I have the front door to the doomed commercial building open. And I leveled even.
Wow. Total psychic collapse between you two right now. There was never any other way this could have gone. She's just too far gone into her own mind.
I am sorry we had to disappoint you, ma'am. Can we go now?
Farewell for now, book peddler. Alright, out we go. And the store's probably locked now. Or not. You have been out here reading for like 12 hours. How are the books? In the rain. Can't imagine soggy, rain-drenched books are great to read. Alright. The next things we gotta do, we're gonna ask this guy about the guns, and we're going to do the 9 p.m. thing with apartment 28. Those are next on the list. But, Jojo, how would you feel about me calling it here and doing a 5-hour next Sunday instead of a 4-hour? Cool. That's where we're going to end it for today, then. I'm going to go chill out and have something to eat. Tomorrow we'll be doing Outer Wilds for a patron. And then on Tuesday we'll be doing Metal Gear Solid for a patron. And then Wednesday, I'm not sure. We've got a bunch of options. Yeah, the choices in this game are tough. They've all got so much weight to them. I like that about this game. It's such a cool game. I'm glad I'm playing this. But yeah, that'll be it for today. Thank you guys for tuning in. Thanks for hanging out. Thanks for watching. Let me... I already saved the game, right. And I will see you guys next time.